What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports Hardwood show for some Thursday night NBA action. It's a 5-game slate. It's a pretty straightforward slate, so we're going to get into the plays and the game-by-game breakdown. But before we do that, I got to bring in my co-host. First up, we have the Eiffel Tower playmaker himself, Mr. JT Hayes. I pulled up the slate today and I saw your boy Damian Lillard was on the slate. So I said, you know what? We got to get JT back. Here he is on the road. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I can't disclose my location, but I'm not at home, as you might be able to tell. And man, did Damian go off last night or what? That was such a delicious performance. I was watching you guys yesterday, and when Title brought it up, he had already caught my attention. Wasn't sure if I was going to go back to him. And I said, I got to hang with my boy Title. And I'm glad I did. Yeah. And I made a nice little late swap. I went off Steven Adams onto Buddy Hield like a psychopath. But Buddy finally hit some shots. So it wasn't a bad night.
Yeah, it was an entertaining night last night in the NBA. Like you have Luka, who opens up the slate and just goes bonkers. And then Lillard goes crazy to end it. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the NBA that's exciting to watch when they're on as Damian Lillard is. I mean, he's just so fun to watch when he's knocking down those shots. So yeah, that was a wild finish last night to that slate with that Trailblazers Kings game. Other guy here is Big T, who's here as always. But the pockets are a little bit heavier today, and it wasn't a GPP one. Tony's a guy that has had a lot of success recently in the GPP streets. But if you're watching the show yesterday, he was challenged. He was challenged by one of our own, Mr. Travis Mangone, to head-to-head matchups. Now, the whole thing kind of transpired at the end of the show last night, so we didn't have time to let the people know what the stakes were, the stipulations, what site they're playing on. Tony, let the people know, what ended up happening. Did Mangone send you the head-to-heads? Did you send them to him? And the breakdown of the contest. We're anxious to hear the results.
No, I mean, yeah, during the show, we were just having a little friendly banter. We were calling each other out a little bit. Thought we were going to play like that last week, me and JT, a little trash talk. We laid a hundy on the line, a friendly 100, we said. I thought it was going to be like that. Maybe we play a little $50 head-to-head match or whatever, I thought. I get off, though. All of a sudden, he's sending text messages. I got $500 in head-to-heads coming my way. He was trying to skin me. He was coming for blood. I thought it was a good, friendly match between coworkers.
But what were you thinking? It was going to be like a $25 head-to-head or something?
Yeah, just a friendly little thing. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
100
maybe 100 total.
Maybe it's $100. A good friendly. Definitely not more than 100 though. Like when I saw a 270 on one of this is how little cash I play. One of the sites is 270, one is 215. I don't even know which is which because I haven't played a cash game in a decade. I only play tournaments. But when somebody comes for the title belt, you got to give them what they need, and he bit off a little more than he could chew last night.
So what were the results? How'd you go about, constructing your teams? Because you posted on Twitter, you haven't played a cash game in about 10 years since the beginning of DFS. I mean, you primarily focus on GPPs, obviously. So just talk to the people about, how you went back and transitioned into that cash game mindset.
The best part about all this, too, is I didn't have Dame. He had Dame, so he got that just monster performance to finish, to give him a little false hope. I mean, he still came 20 points short or something, but it got him a little excited. He was probably feeling a little hopeful. But, yeah, the best part also is I just went in on the cash sheet, like always, on Run Pure Sports, pull up the cash breakdown. Does he do DK or do you do –
He does DK, yeah.
So I just plugged in his own plays and beat him with his own plays to make it even better. I mean –
You got him with his own cash sheet?
I mean, I wasn't sure who did which site because –
Yeah, he did DK.
Yeah, so I did. I kicked his ass with his own plays, and it was great. And then on top of it, because I only had one tournament team and then one cash team. My tournament team in the 250 or whatever it was last night finished like right on the good side of the bubble, and then he finished right below me with his same team. So I double dipped him.
He's no comments. You know he's listening too. I'd like him to show his face here in the chat just so we can get some acknowledgement that he's here. He's listening. Haven't seen a comment from him yet, so we'll give him the chance to give his rebuttal, and if he wants as well, he could even hop on the show. I mean, we got a 5-game slate. It's very, very straightforward. I mean, it is super, super straightforward. So if he wants a chance for a rebuttal, he's always welcome. He can reach out to our producer Simon and hop on and chat about it. We're gonna have a lot of time. It's a very straightforward slate. As I said. So any final comments? I mean, do you think you guys will do any more battle in the future, or is this just a one and done thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get like where I'm playing cash games every night. That's not the streets. I mean, I gave him a shot at the belt. Now he's got to go down and like play Title Town, and he's got to work his way back up the ladder like in wrestling. You don't just get another shot at the top. You got to play like Uncle T, get a matchup with Uncle T.
Uncle T.
Work your way back up the totem pole.
And that's a valuable lesson, right? When you come at the king, you best not miss. I mean, it's just a disgusting performance.
Yeah, I mean, he came right on here. I mean, we were feeling. I mean, the show went well yesterday. The plays were on. There was good mojo with Title Town, and everything was going good. And he just, I mean, man, his closing performances on these shows just hurt. I mean, he had the Millsap a couple weeks ago. He comes in at the end of the show, challenges Big T to head-to-heads, loses. It's a tough stretch, man.
Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, I mean, it's God, man, he's got to redeem himself at some point, or he might be on the chopping block here. I don't know. I mean, it hasn't been a good ride. Any final words before we hop into this?
No, I hope he learned his lesson.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, man, going if you're in the chat, speak up or hop on. Yeah, we can go 4 deep here and talk things out. But as always, guys, hit that like button and hit the subscribe. The subscribe button is literally right in the little bottom right corner of this video. You can just click that button. So when you hit the like button,
how you zone in on it too when you do your eyeball on it. Like,
I'm getting right in there because it's so small. That's why I never noticed it. It has the RPS logo and subscribe. So if I hover over it, it says I'm subscribed. If you're not subscribed, just click that little button and you'll be subscribed. Anytime we come on, you'll get a notification and you'll be able to listen to us for free, as always. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. We'll be giving out some gear. We'll pick a number here after maybe this first game, see where we're at, get some gear, pick a winner, and have Big T head over to FedEx before the slate locks tonight and get that shipped out to you. So hit the like. After us, as always, JSU Holden taking you up to lock. It is a premium show. I talked about on the show yesterday. I mean, right now, getting information up to lock is more important than ever with all the news that's breaking. I mean, we're feeling good about things right now, but I mean, we could get hit with a bombshell here within the next, 2 hours before the slate locks and still change everything. You never know. So that show is very important. JSU does a phenomenal job of breaking down the news up to lock. Like I said, just very even keeled, doesn't get rattled. Just a ton of knowledge about the NBA and the guys that, will fill in if someone is indeed rolled out. We have that promo code going, Workbench21, 25% off your first payment at Run Pure Sports. The Workbench play of the day yesterday didn't really get us home. It was Joe Harris, and it wasn't the big full explosion that we've been getting from the Workbench.
I was saying this in the chat though before. He was in the winner on the big tournament on DK still at least missionary. Like it wasn't full blown Eiffel Tower range.
Yeah,
but it was missionary at least. I mean, he got about 4 or 5x right in there. It was on the winner, so he still knew how to get the job done.
I didn't realize that. He did hit some threes at the end, didn't he?
He got to like 25. I mean, he was fine. Okay. I mean, it wasn't like I said, missionary. Wasn't a bust.
We're not. It wasn't a bust then. So not a bust. I think. I mean that was right around his value range anyway. So Andy was on the winner. So we're gonna move on and not necessarily say that was a win, but it wasn't.
Definitely
it's not a loss. It's not a loss. We'll have the Workbench play of the day coming up at the end of the show here, and also with JT Hayes on the show, we will have the second ever Eiffel Tower play of the day from Mr. JT Hayes. So make sure you stay tuned to that, and the first ever Eiffel Tower play of the day, as I said in the opening, if you weren't on, he
had an Eiffel Tower. You weren't on the one when he gave his second one on Tuesday. You had the golf show.
That's right. Who did it do well?
Who did you have, JT? Because he did good, I think.
So on the show, I said James Wiseman, and then after looking at all the value that opened up in Discord, I changed it and I said, look, I still might have some Wiseman, and he went for like 22, which at 4.4 was okay. It's kind of like last night, yeah.
Yeah.
But I switched it to Duncan Robinson, who went for 7X plus and was one of the lower owned Heat players. So I think that counts as 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Well,
think
you got to
it does.
pay attention in the Discord too after the show, because sometimes you get that upgraded Eiffel Tower play.
Yeah, and I mean the first ever play was Lillard when he went freaking bonkers for like 65. So that was a huge play, and that was the day that Tony had a really good play too. So this combination here gives out the winners. So make sure you stay tuned to get those at the end of the show. All right, boys, let's hop into this one. Ton of news. I mean, injury news. There's a ton of value on the slate. We'll break it all down, but it's I think a pretty clear path, and we'll kind of lay it out as we go through the show. You have the Heat, you have the 76ers total in this one, 222.5. Philadelphia favored by 10 in this matchup. And on the Philadelphia side, they're starting to get some of their guys back after I think was a COVID thing and injury. So they had a combination of a lot of bad things going on. But Tobias Harris will be back, Ben Simmons back. Embiid, didn't miss any time. So these really cheap guys on the Sixers side that we were playing, no longer in play. However, on the Heat side, they're still going to be without Butler. They're still going to be without Bam. All their guys that are going to play a ton of minutes are just not priced appropriately across the industry. They got Hero up a little bit. He's 7-3, but you got Vincent 4-2, Duncan Robinson 5-5 on DK, Precious 4-4 on DK, Olynyk 6-4 on DK. He's like 5 point something on FanDuel. These guys are going to be very popular today because of the fact that, Butler's out, Bam's out. They have, only looks like 8 bodies going tonight. Tons of minutes to go around. You don't have to worry about any sort of blowout here. I'm going to throw it to you first. Big T, I know you're on a lot of these guys last time out. I imagine you'll be going right back to them here tonight.
So I don't like them near as much as I did the other day. I mean, Philadelphia. So that game, Hero was the workbench play. He was at 18, like through 3 quarters. Chat was panicking like always, saying it was a dry workbench. Everything Chat does on a nightly basis. Ended up getting to 50, I'll throw out. Totally smashed. But sometimes when you got a little lucky to get there. Like it went overtime. They definitely played good, shot the ball pretty good. Now you got the same matchup run back against a full-strength Philly team that just got pushed way harder than they should have the night before. I think it definitely could get ugly, which means, they're all still in play, but like Hero definitely won't be in the workbench category today. He's priced up slightly higher. I don't want Kelly Olynyk either in this, even though he was really good. His price is slightly higher too. If I'm playing anyone in this game, I want the cheaper guys that will get the blowout run and like Iggy too. So we made fun of Iggy on the show. We'll take L's when he definitely crushed. And it just happened the last 2 nights where the 3-star, we haven't seen this in years, but 3 stars shipped on DK, I think, the last 2 nights because of these min price plays.
Yeah.
So Iggy did get there because of that. So, tonight at 4K, though, Iggy, like, you can completely cross him off. I think you can cross off for sure Hero, too. I know Olynyk is going to get tons of ownership. I don't really like him much either. And then with the cheaper guy, Duncan Robinson, no. If I'm playing, like, it'll be Silva, who got pretty unlucky. He was one of the ones that got unlucky the other game, got foul trouble. I know our boy K. Fallick was on him heavy. I want to come back with a guy like that. Strauss, who probably got unlucky too with the game staying close. These are the guys that are going to get that 4th quarter run if this game blows out. Gabe Vincent too, 4,200. He's a little more expensive, but he'll play both directions, blowout or close. I want to shift it up a little bit and play the scrub guys and base it on a blowout. Fade Philadelphia. A lot lower on this game than I was the other night, though.
Nobody on the Philadelphia side for you?
I don't think so. If anybody, it would be Embiid, but this is a Jokic slate, so I'm not going to play him over Jokic. Maybe if you play them both, I could see it, but I don't think so tonight. I think it's going to blow out, and I doubt that he gets a ceiling unless he gets it early.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And some of these guys are priced better on the Miami side on FanDuel. Like Olynyk is down. I think he's like 5.3, I want to say, on FanDuel. I'd imagine you have more interest at those price tags. Duncan Robinson is 4.8 or 4.9. Would that change slate to slate for you? Maybe, with these lower prices, would you look at them a little bit more on FanDuel opposed to DraftKings?
So I know I keep saying this every day, but as long as this cash streak where we're making money every day coming with it, I'm just going to ride it out. And I just don't like Miami as much. The dude in the chat says, how can you cross 3 guys off if there's only 8? Because I don't like the spot and I like Houston more. So if I like Houston more, I'm going to play the Houston guys. It's that simple. I don't have to play the Miami guys if I think they get blown out. Like, I don't think any of those guys get there. If I don't think they get there, then I'm not going to play them. Yeah, on FanDuel, 5-3, definitely more in play. But with what comes with that is way more ownership too. And I don't know. I definitely don't like Miami as much as the field will.
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk about that Rockets game. It's coming up next. And I think, they're going to play with a lot of energy tonight with the whole Harden situation. So we'll break that down next. But JT, what's your thoughts here on this Miami game? Do you have any interest in some of these other dudes that Tony really doesn't on the Miami side, like Hero or Olynyk at their elevated price tags? And then any interest on the 76ers side of the ball? I'll throw it to you. What do you got here?
Yeah, I think, the 76ers Embiid on DraftKings is now 10K. I think there's other options that are going to play closer games and probably more minutes than Embiid is going to play tonight with Tobias coming back. Shake is back. Maxi's all priced up. Shake's price is pretty high too. So I agree. I don't really love this game. I think the overtime definitely helped some of those higher priced Heat guys get there. I don't think we're going to see an overtime game tonight. And I do think that some of the lower price guys, Gabe Vincent, I think, took 20 shots the other night. I think he's certainly in line to take around the same number of shots. Silva did get a little bit unlucky. Now, maybe with Embiid playing a little bit fewer minutes, he gets an easier matchup with the second unit of the Sixers, a place where opposing backup centers have done well. So that's kind of all I'm really looking at as well.
Yeah, it's on the surface, it looks like a game that you want to be all over. But, man, when you really start breaking it down, we have this same situation in this Rockets game that we're going to talk about right now. And to me, I agree with what Tony kind of said. That spot to me is I'm way more interested in the Rockets spot than the Heat spot. So the Rockets, Spurs, 218 total. Spurs favored by 7. Total in this game is 218, and obviously on the Rocket side, James Harden out of town, John Wall not playing tonight either. They have, it looks like 8, maybe 9 bodies. You got Sterling Brown at the minimum on Bull. He's 3K on DK. He's 3.8 on FanDuel. Macklemore right around the minimum on both. Nwaba's 3.2K on DK, but he's actually up on FanDuel. He's like 4.8 on FanDuel. We got Tucker, Wood. DeMarcus Cousins, I think, is a great tournament play. I don't think many people are going to him tonight. I think he's a really good tournament option. On the Spurs side, a little more difficult. Sounds like DeMar DeRozan is going to be back, and with him back, it's one of those situations. They have a lot of mouths to feed, and for me, the Spurs are kind of in that category where I'm not really considering Spurs unless there's an injury or a big-time price discount. Not really seeing that. I mean, I guess you could make the case for Aldridge at 6.7K. On DK. I think that's an interesting price tag. I think he's a little bit in play, but for the most part, not going to be on the Spurs unless there's an injury. The Rocket side will be popular. All these guys are very strong plays. They're going to have to play a shit ton of minutes. Throw it to you first, JT. What's your interest level in these Rockets guys? Which ones kind of stand out? And then anything on the Spurs side for you?
Yeah, I think on the Rockets, you're looking, obviously, right? The number one guy is going to be Christian Wood. He's going to be popular, but I think he likely puts up a score against a Spurs team that really doesn't defend the center position well, that perhaps you can't win without. And so he's a guy that I'm very interested in. A guy like Macklemore is a guy that I like. All these guys are going to play 30 minutes, right? But I looked, in Nwaba and some of these other guys have played 30 minutes and still done nothing. And again, maybe that's because Harden was there and Wall was there. There's going to be plenty of shots to go around. Macklemore is a guy that has a good 3-point shot, though, and against a Spurs team that allows a bunch of shots from the perimeter and can play a little bit faster. He's probably a guy that I'm going to look at and maybe lock in more so than a Nwaba, who I'll definitely have than some of these other guys. Cousins, I actually wasn't thinking of Cousins. I think the challenge with Cousins is he's only center eligible. So if you're going to play Wood and you want to play another guy like a Jokic who's going to play later on, then that makes it tough. But I agree that I think the path here is looking more so at Rocket starters. Maybe you go as deep as Cousins. And then I tried looking for a Spurs reserve guy, but Patty Mills is now priced at 5.52 on DraftKings because he's playing 30 minutes. I can't pay that price for him. I love him when he's 3.8 in these spots, but I don't know that I can pay that price tag. And then the rest of it, you never know who Pop is going to go with. He's got a bunch of these, Lily White Euro guys that he likes to float out there in different spots. So it's just tougher to predict when we have other spots that are much easier.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And Tony, you kind of touched on this spot, and to me, with the whole James Harden situation and how that played out, I think these guys played really hard tonight. Is it enough to compete in this game? Who knows? But they're only 7-point underdogs. It's hard to avoid these guys in every format, cash games, tournaments. Are you just kind of eating this and moving on and maybe trying to get unique in different spots?
Yeah, I just don't see how you get around it. They're a 7-point dog. They just got completely made fun of by their star, just literally shit on them. And now they're going to come out and play. You don't think these professionals are going to step up and play a good game tonight and try to show that they're better than Harden? I mean, he literally sat at that podium and shit on him. Like he just pulled his drawers. Odell Beckham would be so proud because he loves getting shit on. He probably wants to sign a contract for Houston right now after that for how bad they got shit on. But this is why I don't want to play look at these guys. Sterling Brown, 3K, 3,800 on FanDuel. Nwaba, 3,200. He's a little more on FanDuel.
For some reason, they have him at like 4.8 on FanDuel for some reason.
It's going to make him crazy low owned on FanDuel too, though, because McLemore and Sterling Brown are 38 and 37. So right away you got, I'm playing two of those three on FanDuel, obviously, but Nwaba is going to be low owned because of that on FanDuel. Yeah. And he's a great play. Like they don't have dudes. Yeah. He's going to crush. But on DK, I honestly just don't see how you fade. For sure, those three: Sterling Brown, Nwaba, McLemore. Let me see their positions. So you got
shooting guard, and one of them has shooting guard and small.
I was hoping one of them slid into point guard or power forward or something to where you could.
Well, they both. Two of the three have guard and forward eligibility. So the flexibility, tons of flexibility, obviously.
I just literally if I was playing 150 teams, I'd play 150 of those three. I just think it's that easy. You just take it. They're all going to finish, if not in the 20s, even the 30s. I just think they crush. It's super easy. We just keep taking our easy plays and cash, and we're on a roll where I don't remember the last time we haven't cashed on this show with the game plan we've thrown out there.
Yeah.
Same thing tonight. And so you guys talked about it with Boogie and Wood, and then throw Jokic in there and Embiid for that matter. Center on DK and on FanDuel for that matter. Center's tough tonight because on DK, they're both only center eligible, which means Boogie or Wood or Jokic has to end up lower on. Jokic might end up – how does this happen every slate anyways? Jokic always ends up 20%, and he's been the best guy in basketball this year. It doesn't make sense to me.
I think part of it is they're so loose with the position eligibility with these guys, except the guys that are center. The guys that are center, they refuse to put them anywhere else.
So annoying.
Center. But the point guards will be point guard, shooting guard. Wing players will be shooting guard, small forward. The centers,
so annoying.
They just lock them in at center, and they don't give them any. It is the weirdest thing. They give the most random dudes eligibility at different positions, and then with these centers,
they should be power forward eligible, especially with Boogie in there, because they're gonna play a ton of minutes together, and Boogie's gonna obviously be the center when they're in there together.
Yeah.
That's just that sucks tonight because I would for sure play both of them. It's just hard because I'm definitely playing Jokic, so I can only play one of them. And honestly, it could be Wood that ends up out for me. As crazy as that sounds, and I think he'll crush, which sucks because I do want to play him, but it's a decision point. Boogie is 4,700. He's gonna crush at that price. He just has to play. I don't know. It's a tough decision point. Maybe I could fade Jokic, I guess. I hadn't really thought about it, but maybe just because of how good this is, maybe you go to 2 other studs somewhere.
Well, like you said, though, that's what everyone's kind of thinking. That's why
yeah,
Jokic comes
Jokic
in at
is
that,
for sure going to end up lower owned because of this. He has to.
Yeah. And what about this Jayshawn Tate guy? Like, he's been getting steady minutes, even with Harden in there.
Bad.
Huh?
He's so bad.
You think?
I mean, just from watching him, like 20 minutes, 13. I know there's a lot more usage to go around, the people that are like saying it into the screen. But when you just watch it, just straight eyeball test, he just doesn't look very good to me. But, I mean, I don't hate him. I don't hate anyone on this team tonight.
Yeah, I think in tournaments, I mean, you definitely want exposure to as many of these guys as possible. I mean, yeah, Tate hasn't looked good, but he could easily come out and outscore Nwaba, McLemore, or Brown. With most people playing 3, if he just outscores one of them, that's just a way that you can get a little bit different because those 3 will be very, very popular. Anything on the Spurs side? Any LMA for you? I mean, I know you're not a Spurs guy, so I can't imagine you're going anywhere.
My first take was the same as JT had, where I'm looking at the bench, just trying to find something that might pop out, and there just isn't anything.
They have so many guys. I mean, you start looking at it. I mean, Gay, Mills, Podol, this Vassell dude, Lyles. Like, there's so many dudes they can go to.
Yeah,
I mean, just
and
so many
guys are priced up too, to where like DeJounte could crush, and he still not get there. Like, there's just no meat on the bone. I don't think.
To me, it would be LMA. If I'm playing any Spurs, it's LaMarcus. He's 6'7" on DK, and I believe he's like 7'2" on FanDuel. He could come out and get 40 tonight, I think, pretty easily. So he's the one that I'd go to.
Yeah.
None for you? No LMA?
I'm definitely not playing LMA. But
I don't think you've ever clicked that name before, have you?
It would have to be like a floor slate. I'd never click him on a ceiling slate, put it that way. This is a ceiling slate. I would never click LMA on this slate ever.
Yeah. No,
there would have to be Total get ruled out and whoever, Vassell or whatever his name is, get ruled out. Like, I would need a couple dudes. I'm not clicking LMA. And he's in the mid-range too, which makes it even more awkward on this slate. It's just a tough spot.
And that's the thing with LMA this year is the last 2 games, DeRozan's been out, and he still hasn't hit a ceiling. He's been like 38, 39, right? So now DeRozan's back. You've got a full bench. Maybe Houston keeps it close. I understand the mindset there of, hey, our star just said he didn't want to play with us. But, I mean, if you look at it from a talent perspective, San Antonio, this game should not be one that is in doubt in the fourth quarter. And I think Pop will look for a chance to rest, starting with Aldridge. He would be the first guy that sees his minutes cut.
Good question. Good. Go ahead. I was just going to cover it.
Could win this game, but I don't think it matters if it stays close from the Spurs.
No.
That's how little I like them. Their prices are good to where even if they get full run, they don't really worry me. So it's good either way with me.
Yeah. Good question in the chat. A guy, unknown user, asks, what's a ceiling slate? Well, what Tony means is this isn't a slate where you're hoping your guys kind of grind out value and kind of get to that 5x their price tag. You need guys that go off because of all this value. So you're looking for the guys that can have these spike performances. You're looking for dudes that can get into the 50s and 60s, especially if you're spending money, because, it's going to be easy to access these top tier guys. And you don't want to miss, and you don't want to get a guy, you don't want to play a 6K guy that doesn't have a massive ceiling that could only get you maybe like 30 fantasy points most nights. You need these guys that can go and get you 50. A 6K guy needs to be able to get you into the 40s. Do you think that's a good way to describe it, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect example. Like, say tonight, what was Aldridge's price again? He's
6'7".
Like, if you guaranteed me he'd have 35 tonight, I wouldn't play him. But some slates where we don't have all this value, if you guaranteed me 35, I'd plug him in right away and be thrilled about it.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to get you for sure into the 40s tonight, and I just don't think that's him. He could do it for sure, but I would rather – it's just so much better to play these cheap guys that are going to get you in the 20s or 30s than this guy to get you in the 30s or 40s.
Tyler Covey in the chat. Great comment. I mean, it's the truth, though. It's a crane night. It's a 37X night. We need 37X from every spot, and, we'll be good. That's what's going to take to win GPPs tonight, right?
It's going to take some points for the third night in a row. We're going to have the comments this is the honest truth too. I said it in Discord the other night. Since I've played DFS, I swear I've never looked at like the point totals. So like when people say, "Oh, I scored 380 and I didn't cash," or what, like I have no idea what the number is. Like I don't know what, because I always just in my head, like tonight, I know I need my cheap guys to get me high 20s. I know I need my studs to get me 60, but I don't know. I never look at the total. So when people say that, like it's never even crossed my mind because it's so slate dependent. Other slates, 300 is good.
Yeah, it's very slate dependent, and that's like one of my pet peeves when somebody. And I get it. If someone's new to DFS, they don't understand the ins and outs. But, oh, yeah, I see that you play a lot of cash games. Well, how many fantasy points do you need on a nightly basis to cash? Like, I don't know. Like tonight, last night, maybe it's 280. Tonight, maybe it's 370. I mean,
it could literally be like 100 points off.
Like, easy. I mean, easy. It depends the size of the slate. I mean, there's just so many factors. I mean, you could never give a realistic number, especially in this day and age in the NBA with everything going on, the injuries, these guys just going off. Like, there's just so many more factors. In the past, it was a little more stable, but now, man, it's all over the map in terms of where you need to be in order to cash. And even in GPPs, it's the same thing. It's like it's slate dependent. A lot of different factors go into it. All right, guys, we got about almost 700. We're going to need 350 to give away some gear. So hit the like button. Very simple. Just one click away. Hit the like. That way we can continue to bring you guys this show for free. So hit the like. Also, hit the subscribe button. There's 2 subscribe buttons. There's this gray box one that I see, but also in the video, if you put your cursor down in that bottom right corner, there's an RPS logo and the little word underneath that says subscribe. So you can click there too to subscribe. So that goes a long way in us continuing to bring you what we feel is by far the best content in the industry. And I don't really think it's all that close. We have that promo code going, Workbench21, 25% off your first payment at Run Pure Sports. That will get you access to our premium show that takes you up to lock with JSU and Holden. They go every single day, Monday through Friday, breaking down the news as it breaks. And we know this season it's been breaking a lot. Got our NFL content that will start to roll in. I think tomorrow we've just been laser focused on the NBA. I mean, we've been as a team, as a company, just locked in on this NBA product. It's been, I think, phenomenal. I mean, we've a lot of great feedback from everyone. Continue to crush with these plays, the core plays. We talk about all this stuff on the show. We go game by game, but if you're a member at Run Pure Sports, we all post our own core plays. So we talk about a lot of dudes here, but we have a very, fine, smaller group, 5-6 guys that we list that we think are locks and building blocks for our lineups tonight. It's our most popular product by far. I mean, we've got some of the biggest names in the industries. It's a lot different than these other sites. I mean, these other sites, they get these guys on there talking that don't play DFS. And to me, it's like the biggest joke of all. Like all our guys, all our people, we're grinding every single day. We're playing these plays. I can't imagine paying for a service where someone's giving you advice that doesn't play DFS. And that's a lot of what's going on nowadays in the industry, not here at Run Pure Sports. We back up our plays by actually putting them in our lineup. So Workbench 21 gets you 25% off your first payment at Run Pure Sports. Head on over there and check us out. Go to the next game here. Total.
One more comment here too. I finally got the list updated yesterday. I've had like 70,000 emails in my email box for like 2 weeks. Finally sat down last night, went through it. The FedEx list is ready. So today's a good day to win the thing. We got everything updated. Yeah. About time for another run to the FedEx this week.
And you know what? I'm going to add something in here. The subscribe thing is pretty big. Our producer just put a comment in there. He worked really hard to get that little logo thing in the bottom right corner. We're at like 3,000, 3.5. Let's see, we got 3.58K. Get us to to get us to like 3.7. If we can get up to 3.7 subscribers by the end of this show, we'll give away another piece of gear. So just hit the subscribe. Very simple giveaway. So that should be about another 120 subscriptions to our channel, and we'll give away 2 pieces of gear. So hit the likes, hit the subscribes, and we're going to move on to the next game. It's the Hornets, Raptors, 220.5 total. Toronto favored by 8.5. And this spot for me, I mean, it's going to be the same with the Hornets almost every single slate. like I talked about with the Spurs. I mean, they got a deep team now. I need an injury before I'm going to start looking to some of these guys. Even on this small 5-game slate, I don't have a ton of interest. The one guy that we keep talking about, LaMelo Ball, I think you can play almost every night. Problem is, he's up to 7.6K. So now he has to actually do something. Like 2 weeks ago, Tony, you're talking about Ball, and I think his price is like 5.5 or 6K. So if he went out there and got you 35 fantasy points, you're feeling pretty good about it. Now he's at 7.6. He's got to go out there and get you a 40 spot. And that's definitely not as easy. But still, he's probably the only name on the Hornets side that I could play. Gordon Hayward, left the game, I believe, twice last night. So it looked like he may miss tonight, but he's going to play. So that would have opened up potentially some value. But with him in, it's a big downgrade for the rest of these guys. I think some guys on the Raptors are interesting after a slow start. Not the greatest bubble performance either for Siakam. Started to get things rolling a little bit. Big game last time out. I think did he get the triple double? He's right around a triple double if he didn't get it. But he's been over 50 fantasy points in 3 out of his last 4. The other guy that's just smashing, Chris Boucher, now he's kind of getting around 30 minutes. And if he's going to be on the court playing 30 minutes, he has massive upside. So I like Siakam. I like Boucher. Outside of that, I don't really think I'm going anywhere else in this game. I'll go to you first, Tony. What do you got here in this Hornets-Raptors game?
Yeah, first of all, with the Hornets, you said it perfect. They got so many dudes. So this is where I feel like we've been on the right side of a lot on these shows. Like we were all over LaMelo. He starts to get priced up, and we kind of been off of him, and everyone else started to get on him. So I think we've been on the right tide. Like the dude is 7,800 tonight on FanDuel, 76 on DK against a team that defends the guard well. That's just like the easiest fade of all time. Like, don't play plays like that. I don't think it just doesn't make sense, even on this slate. So easy fade there. I mean, really, Charlotte is just a super easy fade unless some people are out. These guys could get there, but again, it's more of a floor play. Like if Hayward crushes, maybe he gets you low 40s or something, but that's not going to be enough with this. Toronto, however, I think definitely you're going to have some of these. They fit good on this build where you got, I'd say the 4 of them for the most part, Pascal, Van Vliet, Lowry, and Boucher, all are priced up, all have high floors and high ceilings. They're perfect on this slate, honestly, all 4 of them. I like Pascal and Boucher by far the most, but I don't think you can eliminate Van Vliet and Lowry just because they play minutes. They have upside. They have floor. They give you everything. All 4 of these guys. It's like JT said about his Eiffel Tower play that day. Sometimes they give you everything, and these guys give it to you. They get it all. And Boucher's for sure my favorite, though. He's 7,800 on FanDuel, only 65 on DK. He's crushing lately. We've always been waiting for this because he's such a talented guy. Big time block upside, can hit the 3, he can do it all. He's a stud, man. So with the price going up on FanDuel, I don't think that many people will play him either, but he fits this build nicely where you need to spend up on some of these guys. So for sure, I'm really high on all 4 of these Toronto guys. I'll probably have at least 1 on all my builds, maybe 2, depending on how it fits, but like them all a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about playing Toronto Raptors guys is in close games, I mean, you can count on heavy minutes for their core, and it's very valuable in DFS. So, JT, I'm going to throw it to you. Any interest in these Hornets guys? Do you think maybe Tony and I missing anything? And then the Raptors side of the ball, do you have any interest in Boucher or Siakam or the guards?
No, on Charlotte, I think you guys, I mean, you're absolutely right. There's 3 guards now that are in the mix, so it's not like you can focus on one. Hayward is probable. He's probably, I expect him to play. So it just limits the upside of any of them, even though Graham and Rozier are lower priced on DraftKings now. They're just not seeing the same usage as Hayward and Ball, who are much higher priced. So I have a little bit of interest in LaMelo just because I think tonight people may be off him a little bit after last night, and that, as you know, for tournament play, if I want to get a little bit creative or I want to find something different in addition to the Rockets and the Pacers later that we'll talk about that I'm going to play, then maybe one or 2 lineups I'm going to play LaMelo just to, in case he does get something going tonight. And on Toronto, I think absolutely Boucher has been crushing it. Both he and Siakam, because this Charlotte team cannot defend the center position. Second best spot on the slate tonight for that position. And I do like Lowry a little bit, not Van Vliet as much, but and the other point is I think both Lowry and Van Vliet are going to be much lower owned. I think people are going to probably go to Curry. They'll have Brogdon. They'll have the cheaper guards. And I think those two guys are probably going to be ones that go overlooked tonight on the slate because people will maybe look to a Siakam instead of those guys. So I like them a little bit for tournaments as well.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty clear spot here. Boucher, people aren't playing him at the rate I thought they would be in tournaments. I haven't seen his Tony. You're obviously more in the tournament streets, but what sort of ownership has he been getting? Because in the higher stakes stuff, like no one's really been playing him yet.
Yeah, in the last two slates, I mean, I played him both times. Both times he got me over 40. Both times he was 10% owned.
Okay, yeah.
And he's just good, and I'm going to keep playing him. Like, no one's going to play him tonight at 7,800 on FanDuel, and I'm going to play him. The thing people don't realize, he's way more expensive on FanDuel, but this dude has legitimately like 10 block upside where you get 3 points each block.
Yeah.
And he can break a slate in a hurry. His price is not as high as people think it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this guy, he's going to be locked into a 30-minute role. He's going to be an 8K player probably on both sites here pretty soon. So especially on DK at 6.5K, I think he is a really strong option in tournaments.
Toronto might literally be the safest team in all of the league, where if you play any of these four guys, you're going to feel great about them. They give you the floor, they give you the ceiling. You're never upset when you have these guys in your team ever.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, in a close game, I mean, they're going to play upper 30s in terms of minutes, and they just don't have many guys that are any risk of stealing the production. You look at the bench, like Powell's been pretty disappointing. He got the one spot start. He did well, but outside of that, like coming off the bench, he's been disappointing. Terrence Davis, like they just don't have guys that are going to get in there and steal the production. Like their main guys are the ones that are going to produce, and they play a shit ton of minutes. So, night in, night out, I agree. Like the Raptors are a strong team to, not necessarily build around, but like definitely get some exposure to, because more nights than not, like a couple of these guys are probably going to be going off.
They've run super bad with actual games too, where they've lost like so many one possession games. They need a win tonight.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good spot tonight on this slate.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a ton of ownership either, so it's kind of maybe a little sneaky spot on this 5-game slate. All right, next game. Before we get into that, let's touch on the deal that we have with Monkey Knife Fight that we talk about here. It's if you use promo code RUNPURE at checkout on monkeyknifefight.com, you get a $50 match on your first deposit over there. As I always talk about on the shows, we have a Discord channel in our company Discord chat that's dedicated solely to Monkey Knife Fight picks. We found some gems along the way, continue to dig and produce some winners. So make sure you head on over to Monkey Knife Fight. Use that promo code RUNPURE at checkout, gets you a $50 match, and then head on over to Run Pure Sports and hop in our Discord so you can kind of see, what sort of winners that we've uncovered throughout the day, throughout the week. So yeah, Run Pure at checkout, Monkey Knife Fight, get in there. Next game, we got two more left. We got the Pacers, we got the Trailblazers. Total 229. Portland's favored by 3.5. And obviously on the Pacers side, no Oladipo. They're going to continue to be obviously without TJ Warren. They're a team that they'll run their guys into the ground if it's a close game. The spread's only 3.5. Guys like Brogdon could push 40 minutes here. Sabonis could push 40 minutes. Turner's coming off a big game. Center's loaded, though, so his ownership will be super, super low. Sumner started last game. I assume he starts as well. Tough to go to him over those Houston guys. He's right there in that same price range, same position. On the Trailblazers side, Dame coming off a monster game. I mean, we talked about it in the opening. When he's on, I don't think there's anyone more fun to watch in the NBA, and he was on last night. Could go back-to-back here. I mean, Brogdon is a pretty good, dedicated defender, so not the best matchup, but, man, Dame's good enough to beat just about anyone. CJ McCollum having a phenomenal season. And then the big thing here on the Trailblazer side, Nurkic, after a slow start, been playing a little bit better lately. He's 5.3K on DK. and he's at that position that we keep talking about, center. Man, 5.3K for this guy. He has the upside that we talked about. I'm going to throw it to you first, Big T. What are you doing here with this game that has the potential to be very high scoring and close?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, from the Indiana side, you got Sabonis and Brogdon fall into the exact same bucket almost as those Toronto guys. You got priced up a little bit, high floors, high ceilings, which is what we want on this slate. I mean, I know I say this every day, but it just feels so easy right now in the NBA. Play the Houston values, plug in these Toronto, Indiana, even like Jokic, Curry, and just go collect your money. Like, it just feels that easy to me right now. These Indiana guys, especially Sabonis and Brogdon, are locks. Miles Turner falls into that. By locks, I mean lock to be in your player pool, not like locks in your team. But Turner falls in that same bucket as Boucher, where you're going to look at the price on FanDuel, 7,800 compared to 6,600 on DK. It's blocks. He just gets so many freaking blocks that he gives you the upside. However, tonight at center, I mean, you got the Houston guys, you got Jokic, you got Nurkic, who you just talked about the other way. There's no way I think you can play Miles Turner, but to circle back to the thing I've been saying all week, like if you use this strategy, you're probably going to cash. You're probably not going to win first place in a huge tournament just because somebody like Miles Turner will win this tournament tonight. I'm not going to have him. But when he gets like 8, 9, 10 blocks or something and he gets 60 fantasy points, he's going to be on the winner, and I'm not going to have him. It's going to be someone like that gets you all the way to the top. There's no way I play him, but just wanted to throw that out there. And then the Portland side, more of the same. Dame, McCollum are excellent floor plays, excellent ceiling. I mean, CJ McCollum at 9,500 on FanDuel when the shooting guard has the 3 Rockets guys –
unowned,
is going to literally be like off the charts unowned.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to play him. It reminds me of the night, though, on FanDuel where I played Bradley Beal in the same spot. He was under 1% owned, got like 75 fantasy points, and it just didn't matter what else you had because no one had Bradley Beal. You just printed. So I like if you're playing 150, say you're in the FanDuel's put out a great tournament for those of you that haven't got in it. $3, their biggest tournament.
Oh, I don't want to interrupt you. We can get back to that, but Alex Lynn was ruled out. Our boy Boucher, I think now becomes relatively popular on the slate. Don't you think, or no?
I mean, I definitely will help him, but I mean, man, Alex Lynn's what a disaster. Like he gets scratched like once a week. It feels like.
Yeah. It's
they might start Baines because they're only given the starter 5 or 10 minutes anyway.
Yeah, is Baines still like healthy?
I have no idea what's going on with him. He's not someone
It was a weird situation with Baines. I mean,
I didn't know what was going on with him. I just assumed he like had COVID or was injured or I don't know what
they just stopped playing him. I think he just sucked. I don't know. It was like weird. Didn't they sign him to he got like a deal with them, right? Like they went out and signed him as a free agent, right?
You would think he could get it. Toronto just loves playing their guys. That's what happens, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
They roll these dudes out for high 30s minutes and man, it doesn't impact anything with me, but it just shows how
in terms of ownership, I think more people will see that now get on Boucher.
Especially, like
if they announce him as a starter, he might be one of the higher owned guys on the slate.
Yeah, which they could for sure. You think he's going to be one of the highest owned on the slate?
If he starts, man, people are going to say, okay, now there's a chance that he plays 35 minutes. Could be wrong. I mean, not the highest on the slate. I mean, those value dudes are going to be very popular. But if he starts, people will be on him in a big way.
Yeah, I mean,
but talk about the FanDuel tournament that I cut you off when you were speaking about.
So yeah, it's $3. I'll pull it up right now. We got time. We're almost to the end. So FanDuel, like I give them all the crap in the world because they have so many terrible tournaments, but their big tournament is better than DK's, I think, because it's $3, $500K prize pool, $100K to first, And it's just that amount where I think anyone, even small stakes people, could put 10 teams in for $30 or 20 teams in, or if you want to play 150, like it's reasonably priced to where all of a sudden when you get up to 10, $15, it starts to get a little expensive to max enter for anybody. I don't care who you are. The price adds up. But $3 it's fun to get in there and play 150 teams, especially on a slate like this, where you can mix and match, maybe set CJ McCollum to 10% owned. You go into our lineup builder, which we got to deal with Roto Grinders, obviously, to have the lineup HQ on our site with our projections. Set your thing to 10% CJ McCollum. You would never play him if you're playing one team, ever. Play 150 in the $3, you set him at 10%. Who knows? He gets you 65 tonight. You have a completely different roster build by doing that. Not an optimal play, but it could be the opposite of what I'm saying. How I'm saying, if we use this strategy with Houston plus the studs, you're going to cash but not probably win. This is the opposite. You probably won't cash by doing it, but when he crushes, you'll get all the way to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, just to touch on a comment in the chat, the High Tide DFS. New to watching you guys, and y'all are way better and more clear than the other site. That is true. I agree with you. But can't wait for the workbench play, a.k.a. Joker. Now that's where you're wrong, unfortunately. So if Tony came out tonight and said that the workbench play was Nikola Jokic, that would be vetoed. I have veto power in this situation. Not allowed to name guys like –
slates are hard, though. Like the last 3 slates have been so – it's hard to find a workbench when the plays are so easy.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. But, hey, you got to find one. You can't – but
no, I'll
appreciate you on board, but Tony is not allowed to say Jokic tonight. I'll promise you that.
Yeah. It is funny, though. Like I said, we got time. But even in the chat, like all season, people keep saying Jokic is expensive. He's overpriced. Why? Explain that. Can you guys help me with that?
Why is top DFS? Well, I mean, I think people they need big sample size to make adjustments on players, like big sample sizes. And it's only been going for a few weeks, and he's probably the top fantasy. He might be the top fantasy player this year. I mean, obviously any of the studs can go out and go off on any given night. There's just some phenomenal talent in the NBA, but people are still adjusting to the fact that he's definitely a top 5 DFS option.
And people are thrifty. They're very conscious about how much they're spending, and we encourage that.
Yes.
And we encourage that. Exactly. Oh man, I don't get it though, because he's. Yeah. I hope I get him 20% owned all season, like he's been. Like
I don't think it'll happen. It's not going to happen tonight. I don't think it will tonight.
There's so many centers. He almost has.
Yeah, but there's so many value plays, and it's a good spot. I don't think it'll be 20. We'll see. I could be wrong. Warriors Nuggets last game here on the slate, 225.5 total. The Nuggets are favored by 4, only 4.5.
Boy just entered. I just got a message saying Aaron Baines has now been projected. He got back in the mix.
Yeah, I mean the spread's only 4.5. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm Tony, you can probably help me out with this, but maybe I'm wrong on this Nuggets thing. Like they just seem in some of these spots to not. I mean, 4.5 just seems too low, don't you think, or no?
No, I don't. Just because they play down to their competition. Like I always say, they hardly ever in the last 5 years that they've been good blown anyone out. They just don't do it. And now they're a lot more shorthanded. They don't have the same bench they've had in past years. MPJ has obviously got COVID or whatever's going on with him, so he's out of the rotation. I mean, you just look at the team. They don't really have the horses to blow people out, which is another reason Jokic has been so incredible is, I mean, look at the roster. Millsap, freaking Gary Harris. Both those guys are getting a ton of minutes and suck. Monte Morris, PJ Dozier, they don't have the horses. I don't think they're good enough to like blow people out. I really don't. And if this game stays close, they're going to crush again. So I think it stays close for sure.
Yeah, and then the Warriors are kind of, rounding into form a little bit, getting Draymond Green more acclimated. His minutes are up. Guys like Kelly Oubre are actually starting to make shots on the basketball court. I mean, he was awful to start, and he's kind of made some shots lately. So, I mean, it definitely helps them. But yeah, I mean, the big thing here is Jokic and his price. I mean, he's, 11K on DK, 11 point something on FanDuel, probably the premier spend on the slate, but there's other guys to go with. But he's way up there. I'm going to throw it to you first, JT, interest level in Jokic, and then anything on the Warriors side for you.
Yeah, I definitely have interest in Jokic tonight. I think you don't even have to worry about the price tonight because there's so much value. If you play the Houston value, nobody else is close to Jokic's price. I guess Embiid is, but I'm definitely going to play Jokic over Embiid based on the matchup. I mean, we saw what Miles Turner did to the Warriors and Sabonis for that matter the other night. They're having a tough time with bigs. So Jokic is definitely a guy that I'm going to have much more than the field on tonight. I don't know that I am in love with any other Nuggets tonight. They just, it seems like everything is running through Jokic. Murray just, he'll pop off where there's a matchup where there's a team that might have a chance at guarding Nikola, but this is not that team. On the Warriors side, there is a guy that I really like a lot that I think is going to come in at very low ownership, and that's a guy who's been rounding into form, and that's Draymond. I think this is a great matchup for him. I think the Nuggets can get sloppy and turn the ball over. I think they're going to need his defense because we saw that Wiseman is nowhere near a professional defender yet. And so Draymond, with his price down, his price came down after two pretty decent games on DraftKings. He's definitely in play for me on those lineups where I want to play the value, a couple of studs, and then maybe one mid-range guy. I think Draymond's that guy tonight for me.
I love that call. I think, especially on a site like DraftKings where you can get those bonuses for the double-double, triple-double stuff. Like he's a perfect fit for DraftKings and even on FanDuel because he gets steals and blocks. I think he's a really strong play. I agree with that. I really like that call. But got to do something here first. Like we got 700 people watching. We're at 265. And now you guys have jeopardized the main segment on the show for the host here. So if we don't get up to this 350, no workbench play, no Eiffel Tower play. It's that simple. It's very simple. It's going to be for our subscribers only. So if it doesn't get up to 350 within the next couple minutes, we're done. Workbench play, Eiffel Tower play will just be a premium part of the Rum Pure Sports product tonight. So get us 350 or no workbench for you.
Man, Dad has spoken.
Yeah, I mean, I've had enough. I mean, the number, as you always say, man, it's hurtful. We think we're putting out a good product. You look at the likes, and it's just it hurts your feelings a little bit. And man, I just can't take it anymore. Tony, what do you got here? Warriors, Nuggets.
Yeah, so Jokic, I mean, just a total smash play. I don't see how you don't play him unless you just got a different roster. What?
Another timeout. Gordon Hayward, doubtful.
Yeah. That just makes the Toronto guys. I mean, it does hurt the blowout factor though with that game.
Yeah.
It actually makes me really worry about a blowout in that game.
Yeah.
But Toronto needs a victory. I mean, I'm looking at this roster. If you just put the rosters next to each other, Toronto guys and Charlotte without Hayward, it's pretty lopsided. And Toronto defends the guards really well, which is Charlotte's only strength. Man, if he's out all of a sudden, I might have to circle back and not like Toronto near as much as I did.
Yeah.
Charlotte traveled up there on a back-to-back too, I think.
It's a back-to-back, yeah. Not the best. Definitely, actually, probably one of the worst.
That's actually bad news.
Yeah, but we got some other spots. You got your Nuggets here. You got your Warriors. I
was excited about these Toronto guys, though. Man, I don't see how. If you're watching this and bet, if you can get a line right now on Toronto, I think you bet big on Toronto right now because
I do too. Because I mean, it's a not desperation spot for Toronto, but
they want to win.
They need wins. They need wins, and they're too talented to not pick up wins. I think they smash them.
So the dude in the chat said Boucher still in play with the blowout. Yeah, I mean these guys are definitely still in play, but man, I like it a lot. Again, it's a ceiling slate. I want guys that I think can get full run, even a little bit less. Like if you dock them 4 minutes, you can play with it. I always say this: get in the optimizer, just play with the settings. Dock a guy from 34 minutes to 28 minutes and just watch how far he dips. Like he won't hit any of your teams by docking those 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So I don't know. I don't like Toronto near as much. And like you said, these late games are really, really good.
Yeah.
You got both sides of the Indiana-Portland game, both sides of the Denver game. I'm not going to force Toronto anymore, I don't think, as long as Hayward ends up being out. So, I mean, you can easily pivot those Toronto guys right over to Indiana and play Brogdon and Sabonis. You're basically getting the same plays, but more security for me.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
The likes have responded to Hoop's call out, though. We're immediately up to 342.
Love to see it.
Hopeful. I mean, what are the actual like subscribers up to? I wonder right now. We might be getting close to that number too, because the people want gear, they want workbench plays. The job is getting done. It feels good to be appreciated a little bit.
Yeah, we got some movement on the subscriptions. It was at 3.58. It's at 3.6. I said 3.7. So hit the subscribe. There's time. And like I said, it's just that little button. You got two options actually for subscribe. For like, you only have one option. You got to hit that thumbs up. You guys did hit the 350, by the way. That's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. You get the workbench. You get the Eiffel Tower play for free today. Two options for subscribe. The bottom right of the video. I mean, there's a little tiny thing there. It says RPS subscribe, and then down a little bit lower, the gray box subscribe. So you got two options. So just hit it.
Well, this is good for us. It's not so good for the chat because now Hoop has learned how to control you. So
I got that power move, that little workbench and Eiffel Tower just hanging up above.
People respond to the threat. I mean, this is powerful stuff. It's
got to be done.
It's money.
It has to be done. It really does.
It feels good that they responded to the criticism, though. I mean, they could have gone the other direction, been very hurtful, but they got the job done and responded.
Yep.
I'm proud of them.
Love to see it. Love it. Very good job. Yeah, we're very proud of the chat. Very proud.
Yeah, so just to finish up the night game, circle back, like Denver, so I can't – especially now with the Toronto news, I can't fully remove Jamal Murray. He's looked bad, but he's another guy we've talked about all season on these shows. He's got a ceiling, though. At any point, he could drop 50 real-life points, 60 fantasy points, especially against Curry. Especially if you, for some reason, wanted to fade Jokic, I would have to play Jamal Murray and Barton if I was fading Jokic. Like, without a doubt, people are going to get there. And Barton, so we still got Gary Harris. He sat out last game, I believe. I think Barton is for sure in play at 5,700. So Jokic, Murray, Barton, all definitely in play. And then Golden State, man, is in a really good spot tonight. Like I said, the spread's low. I think Golden State could win this game. If not, keep it close. If not, win this game against my Nuggets. They match up really good. The Nuggets can't guard the wing. You got Wiggins, Oubre, who both are wings. We're going to have a hard time guarding those two guys on top of Curry and Draymond, who are what makes the team go. So I like these guys a lot. I could see backloading your team with the Houston guys because I know that's what I'm going to do. Play 3, 4, 5 Houston guys, plug in the late guys, and see how you finish.
Yeah, one thing I will say about Steph, like these teams, they've just been doubling him as soon as he gets the ball over half court, and he struggled to score. He got it going a little bit later in that game last time out, but man, like they're pounding him with that double team, and it's really affecting his scoring. But he's good enough; he'll adjust, he'll make it happen. So I think he's in line for a big bounce back here at some point. And maybe people look at the box scores or the game logs and kind of get off him. I don't know. We'll see. Anything else in this game?
End up there's a lot of good plays on this slate. He's got to end up somewhat low. I mean, 30% or less. I mean, it's got to be.
There's a lot of good plays. I mean, it's only a 5-game slate, but there's a lot of options to spend up for sure. All right, guys. It's almost the end of the show. You know what's coming up. Continue to hit the likes, man. Let's get some record numbers. I mean, should I say 450 or the workbench? Should I move the goalpost a little bit? Keep them moving. No, you guys got to the 350. You earned the gear. You earned the workbench play. You earned the Eiffel Tower play.
They did so good, though. If they get to 400, I'll give someone a hat, too. They can have a hat.
And a hat. So up to 400. So we got 30 more. So we get a hat
That's
and a shirt. I got the person already tagged for the shirt. Big T, I'm assuming we're going to get to the 400. So you find someone for the hat. while JT gives us the Eiffel Tower, which we're going to get into in a minute. We got that promo code Workbench21. That's 25% off your first payment at Run Pure Sports. Covers everything on the site. Membership at Run Pure Sports. We always talk about it, and I've subscribed to other sites in the past, and every time a new season pops up, it's another 350. It's another basketball starts 350. Football season 300. Baseball season 400. If you want the extra add-on premium stuff, it's another 200. At Run Pure Sports, it's one price for all. A membership, a monthly elite membership or a weekly elite membership gets you absolutely everything on the site, including our Showdown content. So head on over to Run Pure Sports. Workbench21 is that promo code. We're going to you, Mr. JT Hayes, with the Eiffel Tower play of the day.
I'm glad I get to go first because I can kind of set the bar here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to avoid the Houston guys. I'm not going to go to Indiana. I'm not going to take the easy way out. And I hope that Big T is not going to do that either. I'm going to see.
I won't allow it.
I already got my pick. I got my pick written down. I hope you don't steal it.
So, I mean, honestly, I don't mind if I do, but we'll see. So the Eiffel Tower play, obviously brought to you by our friends at Air France. France is in the air, but now it's going to be a guy who I have always hated to roster, but it's just too good a spot. It's just too good a price. And the Eiffel Tower play of tonight is Draymond Green, who goes for a triple-double.
Man, I love that. That's an acceptable play. I love that when you mentioned it, talking about the Warriors. I kind of overlooked him on the slate, to be honest, but I think it makes a ton of sense. I love that play for sure. Shouldn't be all that high owned either. People have been hesitant to play him since returning, so like that play. All right, now we move on to the one and only Workbench play of the day. Big T, what do you got?
Lots of contenders again. I like this Golden State team. I mean, Denver, I flirted with the idea of taking Jamal Murray, blah, blah, blah. But I know I'm going to take Jokic, so can't really go there. I mean, I got to keep the streak going where these good plays hit. I'm going to play all these Houston guys. So it really narrows it down where I can go to find some upside, to find a guy that can get us full penetration on the workbench tonight, which is always important. So I'm going to stick with Golden State too. I'm going with Mr. Oubre. You just talked about Curry coming up, getting doubled. Maybe Oubre gets hot one night here. I think Oubre. I like Draymond too. I feel good about two mid-range guys, low owned in that game. Mr. Kelly Oubre getting us home tonight.
I wasn't expecting that one, honestly. I really wasn't expecting it, but he's been hitting shots. It was a slow start to the season. He's a guy that can kind of do it all out there. I think it makes sense, and the price is fair. I mean, he was going into the season. I mean, he was priced up much higher than he is right now. People thought he'd have a bigger role, and the role's been fine. He just wasn't hitting shots, starting to hit shots. I like it. It's a good call. So we got Kelly Oubre as the workbench play of the day. Sticking with the Golden State Warriors, we have Draymond Green as the Eiffel Tower play of the day.
I like going to the same team, too. That feels very good. I mean, there's a lot of pride in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They can go back-to-back on the workbench maybe even. They might.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there might be multiple benches involved. I think it's perfect opportunity.
Love it. All right, we're going to give away a piece of gear. I had this name tagged. It was a great response to my demand. I mean, I demanded it. If you guys wanted the workbench, if you wanted the Eiffel Tower, had to come in with those likes, and you guys did it. But as soon as I kind of said that, Sylvester Payne made the comment. He said the workbench play is officially questionable tonight, and it was. I mean, it was officially questionable. I made that statement. I was going to stick to it. You guys got the gear. So Sylvester Payne. Great comment. You can reach out to Big T or info at Run Pure Sports, and we'll ship you out some gear. You guys are 6 short of this hat. Tony said $400 for a hat. Do you want to give him an extra 10 seconds?
I like them today. I'm feeling good about how they responded.
All right. So you guys, we got a few. I mean, it's not much longer. You need 6 more likes. Get us to 400, and then you get a hat. The hats are nice.
I mean, I'm going to call out this one dude anyways, because in the chat, this isn't the winner. This is not the dude getting the hat, because he's always got these comments in the chat. Lakers tell Oubre's RG smash percentage is only 5%. Yikes. What the hell is an RG smash percentage? That's not how you get to the workbench. That's not how you get the job done. What the hell
Smash
is an
percentage?
RG smash percentage?
You're talking about the workbench play. I mean, you're talking about smash percentage. If I'm getting in the workbench, I'll tell you what my smash percentage is. It's 100 freaking percent. So whatever your 5% with Kelly Oubre, take it and get the hell out of here.
That's
I got
sad.
the winner.
Man.
406. Let's go, Chad. That's how it's done today. It feels very good. And I already got
somebody else with that guy.
So
smash percentage.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean, it's only 5%. I mean, that is a dry noodle, definitely. Like, no question, that's dry noodle season. But back to the hat. Travis Sermi. Travis Sermi says, I need that hat so I can wear it backwards on the bench. Sometimes all you got to do is ask. You got your hat to wear on the bench, buddy.
There it is. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a great show. Great show, guys, all around. Small 5-game slate, but I think we did a good job breaking it all down. So
I got to apologize to the Lakers Taylor. I made fun of him. He circled back, said it's a joke. If it was a joke, I apologize. I have
followed his comments. He's the type of person who'll come in there with a little nudge.
Okay.
I don't know if it's legit or not, but then the secondary comment is always like a nicer comment. The first comment sucks, but he always cycles back, and the second one is it's always a little more friendly.
I like it. I apologize, Lakers Taylor. You're good now. You're back in my good graces. I like that. I accept all jokes. I encourage it.
Thick skin here. Thick skin. We like our YouTube chat people. So
you guys make RPS rubbers, the dude said.
Coming soon. Coming soon.
I mean, we encourage no rubber use. So
yeah.
We'll be in the merchandise shop.
Gosh, good stuff. All right. Good luck to everyone tonight. For JT Hayes, for Big T, Hoop. Good luck to everyone in your contest. We'll be back tomorrow night.